In case you missed it, my name is Christine Karimi. I'll be your host tonight, your moderator tonight, if you like. And I will just go down to the business and get started and introduce this amazing, fine young man. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to read his profile. Very prolific gentleman who we have seen and who's honestly got a heart of gold as well, if I may say so myself, because we have one way or another just come across Rene, and he's just been an amazing person. So ladies and gentlemen, from working for IBM and TELUS, where he was earning 80,000 a year, Rene quit his job and began running his business full-time after 14 months. He is now the company's youngest millionaire, a lifestyle director for, and drives a prepaid luxury car from the company. He has reached 100,000 in earnings per month, and more shockingly, with only 7,000 people. His team has grown to over 24,000 people in 110 different countries. He is a founding member, shareholder, and sits on the company's CEO's advisory board and received the highest award, which is the President Cup Award twice, not once, twice. Rene has been personally mentored by none other than the forensic networker Ramin Meskalu himself. I want to put our hands together, stand up, lift anything. Just let's welcome this amazing speaker, Mr. Rene Liao, who's going to take us through the forensic night today. Rene, welcome. The call is all yours.
Well, again, thank you so much, Karimi. Again, I have to say, first and foremost, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our participants on the call tonight. I'm so glad to be here, and of course, I have to give it back to Christine Karimi. You're such an amazing host. As you were talking, I always think, I wish I had your voice. You have this like broadcasting radio station, kind of a voice. I think you have a calling here somewhere, for public speaking, but you definitely have the charisma, the voice, and I commend you for that. I'm trying to learn from you how to have that nice sort of special voice.
Me, Rene. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I think everyone can agree to that, right? Oh, we have another special guest here. Maybe, well, we have to again give this special lady amazing time, because again, she has, I guess the way I would properly introduce this wonderful lady here is she's the company's encyclopedia. So anything that you need to know about anything, comp plan, policy, like you name it, I think she probably knows everything there is to know. Of course, she is our incredible sales development manager and an amazing, of course, entrepreneur. And more importantly, she supports all of us. And she usually, for many, many years held and ran the Saturday morning training for all of our global partners. So, of course, Daniela, what a surprise. Welcome to the call.
Hello, I wanted to, surprise you. And of course, excited to be here with you, Rene, when, I heard that you were going to be sharing our forensic networker training. I'm like, I'm going to just show up there, because you know what? So many new things happening, Rene. Sometimes I know there's always like an adjustment time. And then all of a sudden people are like, okay, now I get it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just jump on, for, the call and, share with the world what's really happening from the inside world at corporate with all the new packages and the things that we're about to talk about.
Okay, I thought you were coming on just to give me some pressure. I'm just kidding.
Pressure.
Always to have fun. No, it's always an honor, pleasure to again to co-host and of course run the calls together. So Daniela, really tonight I just thought because this morning I had a really busy day. I was golfing in the morning, of course doing a lot of calls and chats on the golf course, answering questions, and then of course after golf I came home, installed a beautiful sunshade in my backyard patio. I want to actually take some photos and show you guys. So now my wife and I can sit outside in the mornings. I can do my business from home and outdoor summer. And of course, if the sun's out, going to be honest. I told my son for a nice, my younger son for his tennis classes. I felt bad that my other son didn't have tennis classes. So I took him one-on-one to just a public tennis court and started playing an hour with him. And then, of course, I had badminton this evening. But all the meanwhile, I had been doing, of course, my business on my phone. And so I want to let people know, whether you're at work or you're semi-retire, retire. This business can be done 24/7. Of course, I got back home to shower, and of course, to be on this call. So, but Danny, I was just thinking that tonight's call, I thought, with the big news exit, our designer Cohen coming soon with the new packages, and of course the India launch. Thailand is just launched just again pretty much about a month earlier than India. We have Malaysia. I just thought what am I to share? What have I been doing to prospect? Just get down to the core of things, right? And I should have two guests coming out for tomorrow evening. So I was going to kind of lead the call with that, just kind of share how I go about prospecting people. And that was my plan for this evening, unless you want to start somewhere else first.
Actually, I love that approach, Rene. I really want people to understand what your daily life should look like, because Forensic Networker teaches you exactly that. What it is that you're doing on Sunday, like, I don't know, some of you actually saw my post the other day. I put, like, Sunday is also a day. Who are you blessing today? And sometimes we just think, oh, okay, I'm going to just work my business, and I choose to have, full-time hours on a part-time basis, but guess what? I choose when I want to work. And if we are talking about freedom and flexibility in opulence, we got to show people how do you get to work on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, and how forensic ties in with that when it comes to the activity that you're supposed to put in on every single day. I find lately that whether it is because you're in Canada and it's summer and you're actually doing your business from your backyard, you can actually continuously be talking to people. Today, I was actually responding to tons of voice notes while I was driving, because I get to choose when I am actually working. And that is the beauty of the business, Rene. I think it comes better from you than it comes from me, because at the end of the day, I'm corporate. But I think people truly want to appreciate, with all of these new things, how am I going to accommodate this into my agenda so that every single day I have to reach my target and my certain goal, so that I can, at the end of the month, reach my final destination or my final target. So yeah, let's go over those details, and I'll add as you go.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I was thinking of just starting off that I came back pretty much last Thursday, was it, again from Taiwan, and it's been a great weekend. And pretty much I had to get my car serviced for something, and that was on Saturday. And so again, as I was dropping off my car to the Tesla dealership, again the service guy was right in front of me, and we started chit-chatting about my car. And so we just started chit-chatting. I was asking him, how are you doing? How are things going with you? And basically, I just want to thank him for his service. You're really great at what you do, by the way. Like, you're handling my Tesla with great care. You're understanding what I'm looking for. And I just asked that magic question that I think you heard me ask before, right? Which was, by the way, you're such great service skills. It got me thinking, are you open for other opportunities by any chance? And so he said, well, I guess he's kind of shy because he's at work, right? I'm asking that question. But again, there's no one around him, thankfully. All the people are working inside Tesla fixing the cars. So basically I said, yeah. I said, no, are you open, for other opportunities by any chance? He says, well, actually, yeah, I'm always looking for other opportunities. And he says, well, what do you have in mind? And I said, well, basically, our company is actually expanding globally. We're a Canadian company, but we're actually launching into India. We just launched into Thailand last month. Again, I think one of the secrets which we talked about before in terms of prospecting, how to make a really powerful prospect, the key word, it really is just creating curiosity, right? Creating curiosity. And I know that we talked before in the past about, when you're approaching people, there's two kinds of feelings that you want to have, right? One is where you're kind of attracting someone to you by, and that they're coming towards you. And the other feeling is you're kind of chasing someone. And of course, in any kind of, prospecting situation, you don't want to have that chasing feeling, because again, it feels like you're just chasing them. And when you go to a mall and you're buying something, the same feeling, you don't get that feeling that someone's chasing you or pressuring you as you're trying to shop, right? So rather, the key is to get that feeling of someone coming towards you. You want to create curiosity, and that's the best way. So I just mentioned really quickly, that we're a Canadian company, and we're actually expanding into India. We just opened up in Thailand, and we're looking for some talented people. And then he said, and he asked, well, so what do you actually do? And of course, I always use the exact same story. I think you've heard my story before. I might feel like a broken record player, but I'm really good at telling. I think what I'm really good at is telling the story the same way, really exciting every single time, right? And that story, of course, is basically, we met a scientist many years ago who lives in, northern Finland, and there was a big tree blocking, this big Norwegian spruce tree blocking the light into his house. And his wife asked him, cut this tree down. And so when you cut the tree down, of course, you cut the branches off first, and then you cut the stump afterwards. But he noticed, even after a few days, that the broken tree branches on the floor were still alive, So he actually got really curious and just put one of the tree branches into his freezer and left it there. And many years later, the wife, was cleaning out the freezer and was like, honey, what is this thing? If you don't do something with it, I'm going to throw it in the garbage, right? And when he looked at the broken tree branch, he noticed that the broken end of the branch had fully healed itself. Now, I'm going to pause right here and ask you guys a question, right? Can you, I'm not as charismatic, whatever, as Karini, our host. Her voice is just, I think her voice naturally creates curiosity, but can you at least hear a little bit of my curiosity and my enthusiasm in me telling the story, right? Because I could tell the same story, but in a really boring version, right? So we had some scientists in Finland who, was a big tree blocking light. So again, I'm trying to point here that you want to be enthusiastic, and I sound the exact same way, by the way, every time I say the story. And so, long story short, I asked him, so this tree here is the world's most powerful, natural plant antioxidant. It pretty much does everything from A to Z. And then, he said, wow, and he's like, wow, that's really cool. I said, yeah. So basically, we're looking for partners who would like to expand with us and, of course, promote this product globally. And so immediately he said, well, can I get your, can I jot down your phone number so I can maybe give you a call later? Okay, he's at work, right? But of course, our goal when we're prospecting is to always try to find someone else's contact. So I said, so I just got my phone. I said, let me just call you right now. So again, I have his phone number, and I was texting back and forth with him to invite him to tomorrow's night tour. And that took less than 5 minutes, pretty much. And again, it was on my way as I'm doing stuff. Then, of course, my Uber came. And the way home, let me ask a question, right? And I think Amarjeet is infamous for this, because she would rather not own a car and purposely take, Grab or Uber, every single day, because it's putting you in a nice opportunity to chat with someone for like 20 minutes, right? Please go ahead, Danny.
Let me pause you right here. This is exactly the point where I think most people get stuck. And this is exactly the point where most people don't move forward. It is how many opportunities like this you are creating on a daily basis to create activity in your business. Yes, today you happen to be at the dealers, but tomorrow you happen to be at a golf court, or at the tennis court, or at the bank, or at the supermarket. And I think because after 2 years of COVID, people stopped doing those activities that often, that now we're like, oh, okay, I'm only going to do groceries on Sunday. So I really wanted it to pause here, because now I need you to start building these type of activities that you gotta do regardless of your activities every day. And now you're going to incorporate your business as a part of those activities, because what you are saying is great. People love it. You actually make it sound super easy and exciting, but how many of those am I actually doing on a daily basis when it comes to prospecting? So I find that if I was to ask you right now, all of you on this call, tell me when was the last time you actually prospect someone while you're out and about, and I guarantee you not even half of you are doing it, or like 25% of you are doing it. So now what I want you to think of is, how am I going to apply what Renee is teaching me on a daily basis so that I am duplicating my activity and my team is doing it as well. Sorry to interrupt that.
No, thank you so much, because that's why we became such a great tag team, Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, I had the pleasure of traveling with Daniela to our Philippines office launch, and what a powerful trainer speaker. Again, we're very blessed that we have her on this. Danielle does not have to be here right now. She should be relaxing at home. It's her after work hours, but she decided to hop on board. And again, let's give Danny a quick little round of applause and say thank you for getting to be here. when you should be, enjoying your beautiful backyard. I saw you building and you running with this wheelbarrow, so
just so that you know what I'm building there? I'm building an art studio for me so that I can actually paint and, flow my creativity when I'm not in opulence mode. So when it's finished, of course, I'm going to show you. And we're building an outdoor kitchen and everything there, like just for the summer, but it has to be ready before Canada Day. So that's why we're rushing.
She's like a trainer, again, she's part of the Hispanic, Women's Power Leadership Corps. I mean, she can do construction, she can do it all. So, but, just again, thank you, Danny, for being here. So to kind of share more of, maybe by telling my story, you really get an idea of how I do this. So on the Uber ride home, of course, the same thing, I asked the guy, by the way, whereabouts are you from? The same questions that I think I trained last time. The common questions I always love to ask was, by the way, whereabouts are you from? And he said somewhere, but it wasn't India, right? But and then I said, oh, by the way, I said, actually, I was asking because our company is actually expanding into India. And he goes, oh, really? Like, what do you do? Again, just by saying that, right? I'm already creating that. It doesn't matter where it is. He doesn't have to be, from India. He could be from Japan. It doesn't matter. I'm just creating that curiosity, right? So the same speech happened, but as we were talking, but the thing is, before I got there, I want to back up here. Me and this young guy's conversation was a lot of other stuff. Because if you think about it, right? People who drive Uber, do you think they do Uber because it's fun? Or do you think they're doing Uber because they're trying to make some money, right? People drive Uber because they need to make money. And so I asked him, so how long have you been doing Uber for? He's like, well, basically, he's doing it pretty much, since he graduated. But he's also trying to be a part-time chef and all these things here. And his family was from another country, and but him and his brother came here to have a better life. And so, again, I got to know more about who he was, where he came from, why is he doing Uber? And then when I finally asked him, so by the way, are you, looking for other opportunities? Right away he said, same thing, yeah, well, what do you have in mind? Or like, what do you do, by the way? And I repeat the exact same thing you just heard from the first time, right? So I got home anyways, and I had his contact. His name is Ravi, and we've been sending text messages back and forth, and he's supposed to come again tomorrow night to the tour. Eventually, I had to take another Uber to go back and get my car, and that guy's name was Haroon Ali, and I have him in my phone. But before I took my Uber back, I took another Uber to go for dim sum with my family members, and I also have his contact. So in one day, I literally got 3 Uber drivers' contact. Yeah, so it was one back, one to the dim sum, and from dim sum I took one straight back to Uber. So it was Ravi, Haroon, and Saeed. All 3 contacts, I can't really see it, but in my phone, right? But I didn't stop there. Today I go golfing, and just so happened that we met, it was me and my friend and 2 other people, and they were from, guess what? They're from Japan. And so, they're like semi-retired. One guy came from Japan when he was about 1979, a year after I was born. So I remember that day. And he went to Canada because he was an engineer. And back then he told me that everyone wanted engineers because Japan, technology, blah, 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 blah. And so, but again, they looked really old. And one guy I could tell was really overweight. And, his back looked kind of sore when he was golfing. But again, we have 18 hours of holes, right? So every time we stop at a hole, I'm chit-chatting with these guys, right? So turns out that they have family here, they have children now too. And I basically asked him, by the way, I noticed that your back looks, you're walking kind of slowly. I said, are you in some kind of pain? He goes, yeah, my knees are just, a little bit painful. I said, oh, by the way, have you heard of this amazing product called the Fountain of Life? So guess what? Right now, my whole conversation, again, these people here, I'm not talking to them about opportunity because I thought the best angle for these particular two gentlemen from Japan was about the health product. And so again, we started talking about the product and how it's anti-inflammatory. It really helps with, your body pain and inflammation, helps you to cut down on your weight. And, so long story short, they both grabbed, again, I always have, I think someone wrote it before, what do you always want to have with you every single time you leave the house? What are the three key things you gotta have with you? Let me see your answers, guys. Every single time you leave the house. And someone wrote one thing before. I think it was. Let me scroll up here. Who was the one who wrote brochures? Someone wrote brochures. Was it Maria? I can't remember here, but someone wrote brochures. Whoever that was, you are right. You always want to carry brochures with you, right? Now, oh, there was John Buswood, right? So guys, really quick question, right? Does it make sense to have a brochure without your information on the back of the brochure? That's nuts, eh? Like some people order the brochure and they don't take the time to put their name and phone number on the back of it. You know, so you spend the money on your promo material, but then when you give it away, they end up calling the company, and company has no idea who they got it from, right? So I saw someone write business cards. Fantastic. Me personally, guys, my brochure is my business card. So whether it's the toothpaste, brochure, or it's the Safe Home Revolution brochure, or it's the FOL brochure. And why do you think I like to use my brochure as my business card instead of an actual business card? Why do you guys think I would, I have both, but I always like to use the brochure as my number one go-to. What's your guesses, guys? Why you think I have a brochure instead of a business card? Okay, both you can label on the back or on the front, right? Your business card and your brochure. But yeah, more info. Ask yourself a question. How many of you guys have ever got a business card and just threw it away? Be honest, right? Right? Everyone does lots of times, right? But if someone gives you a nice looking brochure, as if it costs money to make this thing, right? You don't really just dump it. In fact, I think studies have shown the bigger the brochure is, right, the harder it is for someone to throw it away because it feels like you're just dumping a big bunch of paper, right? Yeah, it also looks very impressive. So, and again, more importantly, if you give them a business card, right, what's easier for someone to go to your business card and try to type in the address on their phone or their computer to get your information and get lost in information? Or is it easier to just flip open your brochure, right? It's a lot easier just to flip through your brochure. And the funny thing I learned a long time ago with our first fashion catalogs, remember those, Danny? Our fashion catalogs, right?
I'm still a big advocate of lookbooks. I just feel that we're a technology company and we have evolved from that. But, it was part of your prospecting kit. You want to make sure you're giving away this. And, a lot of people are thinking like, oh, I'm investing all of this much money. And, what if the person doesn't call me back and all of these things? And my question is always like, who's the owner of the business? You. So who's going to make sure that that money that you spend on that specific, prospecting kit is going to be worth your money? It is you. And the only reason why you're chipping on your business and thinking like, okay, I'm not going to invest in those, lookbooks or brochures or whatever, is just because, the business is going to chip on you. But that's just because you didn't do your due diligence to make it worth. So
and really,
I remember those days.
Yeah. And actually, I want to add on that note is that, one pack of brochures, I think it's like $30 or like even like $50, whatever it is, for a pack of like 100, something like that, or $30 for a pack of 100. Mm-hmm. If you actually handed out 100 brochures, there's no way that you won't even sell like one bottle, right, of, let's say, FOL. You sell one bottle of FOL, the profits you made just covered the cost of 100 brochures, yeah. Right? So forget about, again, we forget about that though. We have to have this mindset of investing into our business. I'm just trying to say here that if you actually bought the brochures and handed them out properly, you would make back the money for sure, no doubt. But end of the day, back in the days, one really cool thing about giving out brochures and catalogs is you never know who might read that. Like someone might bring it home and put it on their dining room table or their kitchen island, and leave it there. And next thing you know, someone else walks in, the husband or the wife or the kids or the mom or the dad, and just starts flipping through stuff. And it's like, it's all about giving yourself more opportunity, right? But I can tell you, if it's only just a business card that's sitting on the table, most people might not look at that.
On top of that, Rene, you just mentioned, for example, you were talking to someone on the golf course. Now you are handing them the brochure. It's not like you're gonna have, an hour of time to give your 2-minute story in an hour where you want to share testimonials from around the world and tell them how amazing this product is. You're letting the brochure do the work for you, because you might be new in the company and be on this call, with a couple of days, and part of the India team, for example, that is expanding right now. And all of a sudden you just don't have that information yet. And you're not maybe, well versed about the product, or maybe someone in here that has focused their business into fashion and you're not utilizing all the tools available for you to build your business. All of a sudden the brochure is doing that for you. Or maybe I missed to tell you, that you shouldn't put it in your eyes and your ears. Or maybe I didn't tell you that, like little bit of details that are part of your brochure. It gives you an overview of the product, and you don't have to actually be saying the presentation to the person in front of you.
Yeah. And so to keep my story, because literally, like for me, these stories never end. So one day I had to go do some banking. So I go to Scotiabank because I have different stuff in different banks. And anyway, Scotiabank, I have been prospecting the security guard at this Scotiabank for the last year. I'm not even joking. Like every time I go to Scotiabank, like other banks right now, the doors just open and close. There's no security guard, right? For some reason, Scotiabank, they still have this security guard that sits there, and he has to open the door for you to let you in, But anyways, I've been talking to this guy over and over again about FOL, right? So this time I see him say, "Hey, how's it going, man?" I say, "How are things going? I just came back from Asia, and all the bank people already know me because I prospected all of them already, inside there. And one of the girls that used to work at the behind the tellers, she got moved to, how in the bank you have the welcome area with one person that sits in the welcome area, then you have all the bank people behind. So she moved from the back to the front. And I said, did you get a promotion? And she's like, no, no. And she kind of gave me that look, right? Like she's kind of joking around. And so I said, oh, by the way, I hope things are going really well with you. I thought you got a promotion. I wanted to congratulate you. But, and she asked me, well, how are things with you? Are you back from Taiwan? I really talk to these people, right? And same thing, I either mention right now that we're opening up in India or Thailand, or that we're opening with a new crypto token called Designer Coin, exit token. So again, they got more curious, but more importantly, the guy at the security guy, I asked him, by the way, whereabouts are you from? And guess what his answer was? He says, India. And I'm like, this could be another way in, right? I said, by the way, that product I kept telling you about for the last year or so? He's like, yeah, that drop thing. I said, yeah. I said, basically our company is opening up officially in India. I said, it's, if you want to, grab some opportunity, now's the time, right? So finally he says, you know what? Can you send me an email? So before he wouldn't give me his phone number. He took my number and never called me. And finally he gave me his email, and I sent him an email with all the information. And so again, now of course I had to do my follow-up, right? So really important. And I have the email. His name is Sheriff. So anyways, but my whole point to you guys is, you have to, literally all day long as I'm doing stuff, I'm just thinking about, who can I help today? Because every person that I talk to, what goes through my mind is, does that guy really love driving Uber? Does this person really love working at the bank? Does this person really love being a security guard? That's what's going through my mind. Because I think it's because right now I'm very blessed with the life that I have. I'm golfing, I'm playing tennis, and so I can really appreciate my life And so it makes me wonder, like, do these people really want to do what they're doing? I think once you have that mindset that you're here to help someone, to offer them something that could change their life, you won't be shy to want to, offer them something. Because if you offer them something, and the worst case scenario is they say, Renee, your breath stinks. I don't know. I don't know. They turn you down, right? Whatever it might be, and go fly a kite, whatever that might be. In my mind, I just think, what? Wow, this is really too bad for you, and I move on. Like, my day carries forward. But if that makes sense, everyone, please say that makes sense, and that my English is okay, not the Chinglish going on. But that's what I do, day in, day out, day in, day out, anywhere I go, every time. Like, if you see someone, yes, thank you, Harry. We do have a new spray coming out. Actually, if you want to know of a joke that my wife used to make on me, I don't think it's really funny, but she thinks it's funny because when she says this, she starts laughing like every time she says this. She says, Renee, the reason why you're good at signing people up is because probably your breath stinks so bad that they just want to be polite and sign up and run away from you. I'm like, gee, thanks, baby.
Thank you. I know I can count on you, and that she's just saying that because it is thanks to this opportunity you guys have had an incredible life, but it's not only about
yeah,
that.
she's just so funny.
At a certain point in life, you were at the same LA level as a new person that you started their business yesterday. So which is something I really love about this business, that if you have that determination and you really want to make it to the top, you actually can. But when it comes to the daily activity, I just think we are, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we just give ourselves too much of a room to cheat and not to do what we're supposed to do, and not to complete the activity. The reason why Forensic Networker is successful is just because it keeps yourself and your mindset and your activities up to date with your MO. So every day you know what you are supposed to do. Most of the times, if you haven't even started using the system, don't worry about it. Don't forget about yesterday. Just start today and decide before you go to bed tonight that this is what I really want to do. Well, mind you, Christine is already halfway through her night, but just
Yes.
in the morning that you're putting aside 30 minutes of your time or your hour or whatever to organize your timing and say, I need to get my 5 booking contacts of the day. I need to get my 3 new booking contacts of the day. I need to go call, my 10 people, or text or engage or start conversations, because out of the 5 people that you met on, between Uber and your dinner and your stuff on Saturday, what are the chances of somebody showing up tomorrow? Right? And because it's a numbers game, well, the more people you talk to, the more people you would have to follow up with. The more people you have to follow up with, the more chances you have at them, showing up for that. Now, why do we want to go on a daily basis? Is because if they're not coming for tomorrow's tour, guess what? I have something for Thursday. You can come up to our Zoom meeting. If you don't want to come and, Richmond Hill is far, or whatever excuses they give you, well, no problem. Why don't, we get together for a presentation? I'm actually going to be in your area on Friday. Like, design your life in such a way that you can inspire, mentor, benefit, excite someone, like get them into the product, obviously approach them. Well, you didn't tell us, what happened after with the people that you were talking at the golf course.
Oh yeah, no. So basically, in short, because I had the brochures, they went home with one too, and I want to make a note that I think one of the things I've also seen is some people are really good at prospecting, and getting contacts, but I feel like it's almost sad because they don't really follow up with these prospects, right? And so sometimes, many times I've sent a follow-up message or a follow-up phone call with someone and they don't answer. But you can't just let that be that. You can't just let it end there, right? Because maybe they were just busy and couldn't take your phone call, or maybe they were too busy to reply to your message. So you got to make sure that you have the proper system called the Forensic Networker system, right? and do your daily calls, right? Put people, if they're busy today, call them back in 2 weeks, right? Have that system. So that's why today, actually, so the other day, the agent that sold the house to me, she said, "Can you call one?" She wanted to buy 6 more bottles because I just came back from Taiwan, and she finally picked up the 6 bottles from me. But she gave me a contact to her friend who lives in Aurora, who just had her hip broke. So she just broke her hip, and it was a massive pain. She has rheumatoid arthritis, and so my agent Angela gave me her phone number. Her name is Karen. So of course I called Karen. She didn't answer, so I left her a voicemail. 2 or 3 days go by, and again, no reply. So I just sent a message. I said, "Oh, by the way, Karen, this is Renee. Your friend Angela had asked me to reach out to you. If you're free, just give me a call back." She finally called me back, got my voicemail. I called her back. We started talking, and she has a lot of questions about, how can FOL help her. And so long story short, I ended up selling her a bottle. So I drove up to Aurora. I was doing my other sales to my other friend who had lupus. I remember Judy that had lupus, and after taking FOL, like she's completely off her medication now. And so as I was dropping off 2 more bottles for Judy, I dropped off another bottle for this prospect, right? But things, even when you sell a bottle, are you doing the proper follow-up? Do you have a system to call these people back and to ask them, "Hey, by the way, how are you enjoying the fountain of life?" Right? And as I was talking to Judy, the one who had lupus, I also found out that her younger son has autism, was just diagnosed not too long ago. And I asked her, "How'd you find out?" She said, "Well, basically, yeah, when I'm looking at my son, I realized he wasn't really making eye contact with me. He's also not talking very much, but it's not, he doesn't have the repetition, with the hands and stuff, but he definitely has like a mild form." I said, "By the way, did you know that there's a lot of studies on how autism is linked to the gut-brain axis, and FOL helps with that, with the gut?" And so she said, "No, I don't." I said, "Yeah, I would actually recommend you just give, so because legally it's not for children." So I told her that, but she might make the decision to add a few drops into his juice or something like that. So it's like an ongoing process. And lastly, even today, between my golf and coming home, installing the sunshades, I did a call with one of our team members from Vancouver and Calgary, and we launched a brand new lifestyle advisor today. So, literally all day long, you can do this business, but you gotta make sure that you put yourself in front of enough prospects, right? And that you keep all these conversations going, because eventually it's going to equate to something. Whew, sorry, Danny, for a long one.
One thing that no, it's okay. One thing I wanted it to add is because, yes, normally we talk about like the positive reactions from people. And you said something, well, if that person didn't call back, then you are doing to follow up. And I'm going to tell you a story. It happened to me a couple of weeks ago. As you know, I'm with the Hispanic Women's Network. So we created a panelist branch to empower women in the community. And all of a sudden, I invited a friend from long time ago. We just reconnected like 10 years later. We were like best friends. She was like actually my very, very first customer that I had when I started this direct sales journey. And, she's the one who used to do shows for me and, introduced me to people. So all of a sudden she called me a day before of the event. It's like, "Can I have an extra ticket for the brunch?" And I said, "Of course." I always keep 5 or 10 because I always know there is last minute, women or entrepreneurs that decide to come, at the very end. She's like, "Okay, great." I said, "I just need the name of the person." She's like, "Oh, I don't know yet. As soon as I have confirmation, I'll let you know." The moment she texted me her name, I knew this lady. I went into my phone. I said, "No word of a lie." And when you know a person that, you have a feeling for that person, whatever it was, positive or negative, you always remember. When I saw her name written, I said, "I know that lady." And she's like, "How do you know them?" I said, "I knew her through your sister." She's like, "There is no way." I said, "There is a way." I went into my phone and I typed her last name on my search button, and I swear to God, the entire conversation popped on my text messages from 2013. Okay, listen to this. There was 10 messages, and I mean, thank God for iPhones, it records everything. There was 10 messages from my end, including "Happy Valentine's," "Happy Thanksgiving," "Thinking of you," I just want to let you know I'm here for you. I screenshot it and sent it to my friend. I said, I definitely know this woman. After 10 messages, this is the type of people or the type of person that didn't even say, thank you or happy Valentine's to you too. Or like, I am not talking to you because of business. Yes, we met because of business. And then I did a screenshot and sent it to her. I said, I would never forget a name or a person that I have met through this journey. Why? Because every person you will remember them for a reason. Of course, she was in awe. When she called that lady, it's like, my friend knows you. Like, who are you type of thing, right? When she came to the event, obviously, what is she going to expect? Like, she wants to hide from me, right? Like, she doesn't have a face to come up with like, by the way, after 10 text messages, I didn't respond to you. Obviously, she's not going to be like that. She's going to be in a cocoon of embarrassment. And what it is my job and my due diligence to do is to make her feel so good about herself. It is always my fault. Remember, it is never your client's fault. Danny is like, when I saw the date, I was going through one of the most horrible times in my life, but you were always there for me. Now, this lady wouldn't answer back to me because she was so shy that she disappointed me at a certain time, that she knows I'm going to have this type of grievance. What people don't know is that we are training our self-development to deal with these type of things. So most of the times, if you receive a negative feedback from someone, or a no, or a I'm not interested, or a simply not even a no, like in this case, I wasn't calling her or texting her just because of the business. It's because I was trying to build that like and trust, and I was trying to build that relationship, which whatever was happening in her life, by the way, then I knew that she went back to Brazil for a couple of years. And then, it was something happening in her life that end up on creating this, distance. So just for you to teach you when it comes to relationships, we just have to become better at understanding that when people are saying no, even though all of these leads that you are talking about, Renee, in the past couple of days, doesn't necessarily end it already in a purchase or a new partner. You never know what they can lead into your business. Maybe when they see the presentation, they go, you know what? This is not for me, but my wife will be perfect for this. You never know if this is for the right person. It's just we think, because we put our emotions and our love for the business, that everybody should say yes to us, right? So I just want to give you that little bit of boost of confidence to create activities on a daily basis so that you can build this business at any given time. I find that right now, most people are just stagnant. We are trying to relearn and re-understand that the world is going back to, what we used to call normal, that we can actually be out without masks, that, nothing happens, that I can actually travel, that all of these type of mandates and things that are just weird. People, some people, the other day, my friend was talking about when babies see other babies that were born during pandemic and no other babies. So because of that, you have to start creating and generating these type of activities to go back into like action. I want you to start with these activities on a daily basis, because right now, if I was to look at the activities that you guys are doing, and if I was to look at your agendas, you will be like, Danny, I don't want you to look at my agenda. Like, I know the activity that's happening in your agenda. I know who's working and I know who's not working. But if you're on this call and you want to like feel that excitement, like, what am I going to do? Do what Renee is doing. Like, generate activities on a daily basis that can bring you income. The more you do, the more income you're going to have. The more activities you lay over and over, the more follow-ups you're going to do. And obviously that is going to result on positive things in your business.
Yeah, and I think right now, you mentioned it before, Danny, with the lockdown really ending in a lot of places, even in Toronto and Ontario, they announced that there's no more vaccine mandates for outgoing flights, right? And local travel within Canada. So my point is, like, me coming back from Taiwan last week, the biggest difference I saw, like my first day in the golf course, was no one's wearing a mask. Everyone's back out again. When we had the dinner reception that evening, it was jam-packed of people chit-chatting, and again, no mask, right? And so there's plenty of events happening out there. In it does help, just being straight up for guys, it does help to get out there, right? If you have a hobby that you enjoy doing, go do it. Go sign up for a recreational something, anything, because it's going to put you in front of people. And that's a great way to combine what you enjoy doing with your business, right? Now, one question, so I want to answer really quickly about how many drops did Judy take for her lupus. She started with only 5 drops per day, and I kept telling her it's not enough. So she would do 5 in the morning, and she kept forgetting the 5 at night. So she switched to doing 10 during the morning. And since then, it's actually taking more and more because of the huge improvement in her, of course, in her own results here. So hopefully that answers your question there. And I think just overall, I hope that you guys really understand sort of what I do on a daily basis, because I think some people try to make time for they try to say, they have this mindset of like a job. Okay, during this hour, I'm going to do the business. Whereas what I'm saying is, no, you do the business from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Think about how many people do you come across on a daily basis, right? That you're buying lunch from, or that you walk past, right? Or you see at the mall. So again, it should be part of your life. Yeah.
I want to add something to this, because not everybody on this call is probably doing the business full time like you do. So obviously, for the people who are on this call that are just doing it part time, where you have a set agenda, this is where time management is very important. If you do have a set agenda because you still have a job, or you have a specific certain amount of time between things, start becoming smart at where are you allocating time for your business. You just have to change the mentality. And what you're saying is absolutely true, Renee. It's like, how am I going to adapt into my daily activities where I am going to include my business, whether it is at lunchtime, for example. That's why we used to call virtual lunches, because we know people don't have, So become a master of creating 15 to 20-minute meetings. Become a master of calling people on your breaks. Become a master of, if you do have Mondays between 5 to 7 free, to book something with Mondays 5 to 7 that you're free. Like, you just have to become a master on, setting up appointments at the time that works for you. Because yes, we don't cancel on people, but how do I make it so that if I'm not canceling you, because it took me all of these conversations to get a yes, right? If you know that it's going to take some time, then the more people you have prospecting in your warm section, in your warm market, the more opportunities you will have on a daily basis to close people. I am sure, Renee, you were talking about someone that you helped today, become an LA. Mm-hmm. It's not like you jump in, you met them, they become LA. No, there was a lady.
I wish.
Right? Of like and trust, of conversations, maybe the partner due diligence, they warm the partner up, then they talk about the opportunities, how much money you would like to make, this is how we can help you. And that took some time. So if every day you're layering some time into everybody that you're meeting, you're just shortening the time between the amount of people that you have to talk to.
To answer your question, the person who signed up today, that was referred to me from someone else in Vancouver, I probably spent over, I say 4 hours and probably 3 different calls already, and just chatting, getting to know them and answering their questions, right? Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, actually, tomorrow I have a meeting set up, a lunch meeting, because the day that I went to that golf tournament, it was by RBC, the person who invited me, and actually, that's what I want to share. I forgot to share about this. But so RBC, which is one of the biggest banks in Canada, they had this huge golf event, their own golf charity event, and of course I brought some microsilver spray and some lotion and stuff to donate, right? Because it's for kids, and anything that they call as useful stuff, like it could be canned food, it could be toothpaste, it could be like a spray, that kind of stuff, right? Anyways, this event was full of top RBC managers, sales manager, regional managers, national managers, their top financial reps, right? And so it turned out the guy that I was golfing with, he was pretty famous because everyone kind of knows who he was, right? And I think if I was brand new in the banking world, or I just graduated, or maybe I was a new employee working at RBC, I'd be like, wow, because it's this huge event, right? But of course, because I'm 41, I'm not young anymore. I'm not old, but I've been around the block, sort of say. But anyways, so I was asking questions, during the golf time. I was like, so out of curiosity, are you like? It sounds like you guys are based on like commission, right? Like it sounds like you made a pretty big commission, and because people were saying the other twosome, this couple were saying, yeah, your friend, Philip, he's a top sales guy. He's the man. Last year he was like top 10 people in Canada. I said, how much do you actually make? He said, well, last year his commission was like I think 400,000 on all the portfolio of mutual funds that he brought in. He made about 400,000. Another guy made like 350,000, and then but of course he says, but really after paying tax, it's like 200,000, right? And so I just kept asking questions about it. And so I asked that couple, well, are you guys commissioned? Like, no, it's too risky, because we want to have a bigger salary, so we have less commission. It's either you pick low salary, high commission, or you pick high salary and no commission kind of thing, right? And so what happened was that was the same time that Danny was doing a call with the leadership core, and I was doing a call with Israel. So as I was golfing, Ronan and Yulia asked me to be a guest speaker on the Israel call. And so I had to kind of so literally I'm playing golf and I'm trying to, and Ronan knows I was playing golf. He said, that's cool. And so I'm doing a testimonial of my story in front of 20, 30 people in Israel boot camp, and they're translating. And I totally forgot about my golf people, right? Like I would hit a drive and come back to my phone and keep talking, right? And so it turns out they heard my whole story as overheard. And he actually apologized. One of the guys said, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but you're kind of loud on the golf course. And he's like, so you have this global business and commission thing? And so I explained to them basically, I have about 25,000 partners. They're like, holy crap, and then I'll just explain to them, how in our commission structure, you get, up to 8.5 commission on all the sales generated in your whole entire team. And when my friend Philip heard that, he's like, holy crap. He said, so it's residual income. I said, yeah. And he told me for his commission that he made the 400,000 one year, 300 the year before, he says, every year I have to start at zero.
Yes.
I hope you guys understand the difference here, right? Like every year, as much as he made, it doesn't carry forward to the next year. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get passed down to your children. And he has to hustle every year to get that kind of income. Whereas the beauty and what I love about our industry, especially with the right compensation plan and opulence, it pays to infinity, forever and ever and ever and ever, and you pass it down to your kids and their kids and their kids and their kids. What you build now, it doesn't reset every year. It just keeps on building bigger and bigger. So he then said, can I get my wife into your business? That's what he said to me, right? So I'm meeting him tomorrow for lunch, basically. But again, my point though is I'm always following up as well with my own people. So
great stories.
Yeah. So anyways,
the team is like now they're sometimes we get always that golden nugget that makes it like, wow, yeah, I can incorporate this into my daily life. And I just wanted it to come up into this conversation to get you into action every day, because we forget that we are doing a part-time business and in a part-time hours, and all of a sudden it's Sunday again, and we forgot to actually do the business last week, right? So I don't want to get into that mentality. I want you to be on a daily activity where every day you're building up on your business.
Yeah, I think we should invent some device like you can wear on your head, and it's called the Danny Slapper. Like every time you're not doing your business, the hand just goes, and it just imagine that. The Danny Slapper.
Come on, wake up. Go bless someone.
Yeah, it's, do the business. Do the business. So, again, thank you everyone for your comments today. Again, I hope you guys were okay with me doing the training along with Danny tonight. And Rama says, sometimes we tend to be shy to share our business with the people we encounter. Yeah. And you just got to train yourself, remind yourself that you're here to offer opportunity. And, I used to be really shy and scared to talk to people. But you know what happened for me? Every time I didn't talk to someone, I would have this feeling of regret after, And I started telling myself, what's the worst that could happen? Like, if I talk to this person, the absolute worst that could happen is I didn't know this person before. The worst that could happen is I still don't know this person after. So I thought, why not give it a go? Because the worst that can happen is nothing changes. The best that can happen is you don't know where that might take you. So the hour went fast. Sorry for talking so much, but again, Christine, Karimi, can I ask you a question? Because you said this is Karimi, but then I see people calling you Christine. What's your,
My name is Christine.
My name is Christine.
The first message I ever got from you, I can read it right now. It says, "Hey, Ray, this is Karimi." So I thought, okay, I'm gonna call you Karimi.
I have an answer for that, and you correct me, Christine. I have seen this only with the Mexican sisters. They call each other by last names because they all share the same names.
Well, to some extent, yes, but actually Karimi is my maiden name. So I have Christine, which is my first name, then Karimi is my maiden name, and my surname is a totally different name that I really don't even use so much. So Karimi is what I love because it's hard worker. That's what it stands for, hard worker.
I love it.
Yeah. So, and in fact, Reza does call me the farmer, and that's literally like a direct translation.
Here's the proof. Hey, Renee, this is Karimi from Kenya. there's my proof in the pudding.
Wow. Excellent. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Karimi, you've been doing an amazing job this month as a host, and I can't wait to have you certified as well as our, one of our host certified. And this is awesome. We have so many good plans in our company, and Renee, I know you've been a part of all of them, but this is great. We just want to empower, create new leaders. So if you're just listening to us today and you have that, feeling inside of you, just reach out, send us an email and see where we can help you to evolve, grow, and of course, become a better version of you. Thank you.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. What a beautiful call. If you look at the chats, they're just buzzing with thank you, love hearts, fire, smileys. Everyone's just so excited. I can't wait to look at this recording again and just go through it with, like a pick and just pick out things. It's been such a phenomenal call. And I believe everyone on this call is just repeating the same thing. So thanks, Danny. Thanks, Renee. You have been amazing. It's been a forensic night. And I will just go right in here and do my announcements. I like to ring my bells. So let me ring my bells. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just bring you up to speed with our announcements for the week. First off, latest in the London meeting, we've got our sales director Europe, and of course our leaders in the UK, our leader in the UK, Stella Bassi, and of course Ifra Hassan, who will also tune in on Zoom. This is on the 25th of June. Make sure you're inviting. I think everyone in the world somewhere knows somebody in London. So let's get everybody in London to just go and attend this. It's free for guests, as you can see from the chat. And I'm sure it's a great, they say is your entrepreneurship destination to fashion, beauty, and health. So invite. This is a great event to just lock it down on your calendars. It's the 25th of June, so make sure everyone is in there. Next, of course, we've got our upgrade reminder, the promotion. Make sure that your teams have upgraded to, promoters if they're retailers, because we phased out the retailer package. So now it's a brand partner or a lifestyle advisor, and you can see from the poster all the activities that you need to do upgrade using your shopping credit. So quick fast act now. We only have this until the 30th of June, just a couple of weeks away. Of course, our amazing presentation that I love so much. I keep going through this day in, day out, presenting it every 20 minutes when I can. We're told we sell our tours. So ladies and gentlemen, get in there, download it, share it wide and deep. Amazing. Of course, India. like Renee was talking, you know, like every time you mention somebody's country, they're always there. And that's why every time I come onto the call, I'd say, put out your flag. Let me know which territory, which country you're tuning in, because you're proud of where you come from. So India is one of those places where if you just drop that name, like, you know, we've just started the business in India or Malaysia or Thailand or whichever country, or we have representation in Kenya, someone is definitely going to pay attention. So for India Blitz, here is the promotion: buy one, get one free. Amazing. I wish I was in India, but I'm getting everyone I know who knows somebody in India to get interested in this Blitz. And then of course we have got good Google review. It's a 5-star. If we had a 7-star, we'd definitely do a 7-star. Get in there, do leave your review and put in the 5-star so that whenever people go up to look out who is this Opulence Global, they will always find it there, an independent search engine. And of course, our pull-up banner, we're doing our parties now, we're doing our home parties. How do you brand your table? How do you brand your space? Get the pull-up banner, just arrived, it's brand new. And in 5 seconds, you know exactly what it is that we do. So ladies and gentlemen, Saturday again with our super champion, Renee. He's going to talk to us about the binary commissions. Clear the calendar, clear that diary. You know you need to be in this call, live and direct. Renee is going to bring it home. I remember when I started my business and so many people, these are one of the go-to videos that we always went back to see what is he saying, how do you record? I'm sure so many people can attest to that. So please come live and direct from Renee himself. It's a deep dive into the binary commissions. Finally, we've got our virtual leadership cocktail with Han May. Renee, you're on duty. And I'm sure you love this.
Busy week, Renee.
It's a busy week for him.
Where the time goes.
Yes, so Renee will be hosting a champion out of Canada, obviously with the Chinese link market, Han Mei Han. We can't wait to hear about this, and we're really, really thrilled. So clear your calendar again. Sunday is one of those days. Thank you, so, ladies and gentlemen, for being here on this call. And we can't wait to see you on the next call. And Renee, if there's nothing else, or Danny, I think we're going to end our call here. We're already 2 minutes on top of the hour. All right.
Thank you, team.
Lovely. To the billion and stay forensic. Stay forensic.
Have a good night, rest, Karimi, Christine.
Well, we're starting the day. We're not resting. You have a good night's rest.
Do your run.
Yes, run. All right, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. Generating activities right through. Bye-bye.
Dream to the billion. Bye, everyone.
The billion, stay forensic.